It's human nature to band together with people who are like us, people who look like us, people who think like us, and in the church, people who worship like us. Now, we do this because it's reaffirming to be around people who share our perspectives. And, it feels good to be around people who share our approach to life. But the question is what happens when we come face to face with those who think differently, who act differently, and who believe differently? As Christians, how should we navigate that conflict? Do we retreat into a place of comfort with like minded people who are, in our tribe and turn our backs on each other? Or do we turn our collective faces toward Christ? Now, this is not a new dilemma. We see this in the early church. In the book of Corinthians, we see Paul counseling believers not to get lost in these dynamics. Even then, you had celebrity figures. People were aligning themselves with those personalities and getting caught up in their respective teams instead of focusing on the conviction behind it, which is Christ. And Paul addresses it head on. In 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verses 3 and 4, it reads, "For you are still carnal. For where there are envy, strife, and divisions among you, are you not carnal and behaving like mere men? For when one says, I am of Paul, and another says, I am of Apollos, are you not carnal?" Now, Paul goes on to write in the same chapter in verse 11, "For no other foundation can anyone lay than that which is laid on Jesus Christ." Now, what Paul is telling us is to remember there is one team that stands above all others, and that is Team Christ. Now, in this case, Paul was dealing with division within the church, but the principle applies beyond the church into our everyday lives. When divide happens within our families or in our neighborhoods and at work, all of these scenarios are opportunities. So inside the church, we're Team Jesus, and it's an opportunity to bring unity to God's kingdom. And outside the church, we're Team Jesus. And that's our opportunity to show the world what love, what grace, and what mercy looks like. I want to encourage you this week to look for opportunities to extend God's love, to extend His mercy with people who think different than you and with people who believe differently than you. Let's demonstrate the true power of God. Let's live faith first.